Fighting games are a genre held strong by tradition. Much of its longevity is owed to an adherence to the basic formula of hit other guy until health bar go down. And the evolution of fighting games has offered us a myriad of permutations of this core concept, with variances on control method, pace, and scale. But to find fighting games that offer the wildest variety, you need look no further than the world of indie fighting games, where you will find no shortage of experimental fighting games that aren't afraid to change up core concepts and really challenge the perception of what a fighting game can be. Today we're looking at Resistance 2040X from developer Julio Quiroz. The devs of Resistance were kind enough to gift me a beta key, and while the game is still very much in its early stages of development, it left enough of an impact on me that I'd like to talk about my impressions. There's still a handful of bugs here and there, like how the game seems to register my fight stick as both player 1 and 2 simultaneously, or how I occasionally get locked into one movement direction, but this video isn't a bug report. Instead, I'd like to talk about my experience with Resistance, its concepts and goals, and speculate about its future potential. Resistance 2040X is part air-dash fighter, part platform fighter, and part racing game. Taking place in a dystopian cyberpunk Romania, Resistance 2040X follows the story of an uprising against a corrupt regime taking place at a fighting tournament inside a neon virtual landscape. The game maintains a distinct urban cyberpop aesthetic, similar to the likes of Jet Set Radio. In fact, can someone contact Hideki Naganuma? I bet he'd love to do a track for this game. Inspired by Nidhogg before it, the goal of Resistance 2040X is not simply to defeat your opponent, but also to race toward the finishing line that they are defending, while preventing the enemy from doing the same. If you've never played Nidhogg, I recommend you grab a friend for a night of fencing, dive kicking, neck snapping, and scrambling to get yourself eaten by a giant snake. Nom, nom, nom. By changing the goal of the game into a two-way combat race, Nidhogg really stood out as the only game of its kind, and there were no other games like it. Resistance 2040X is here to take up that mantle and put a more focused and controlled spin on its gameplay. While Nidhogg played more like a frantic platformer, Resistance plays more like an air dasher, with more traditional movement and special moves at your disposal to engage in short skirmishes that put your fighting game fundamentals to the test. While it may seem like adding footsies and frame data to the Nidhogg template is overcomplicating what is supposed to be a simple game, I see it as the opposite. The goal of Resistance 2040X is to introduce traditional concepts in a way that's tangible and easy to understand. While the controls are still simpler than a traditional fighter, the game is explicitly designed to introduce fighting games to your friends who don't play fighting games, in the words of the creator. An important part of learning that a lot of games do not take into account is not just teaching players how to play properly, but also teaching them about their own mistakes.
There though. Oh! Rage Art! Oh my god, JD!
One of the most frustrating things about trying to learn any competitive game is finding out how you lost, why you couldn't block that cross-up, where you got punished for an unsafe block string, why your jump-in got stuffed, etc. In Resistance 2040X, every critical interaction is highlighted in bright neon, letting both players know exactly what happened and what to look out for. And this honestly feels like a more effective teaching method than any tutorial I've ever played. The flip side of learning about your mistakes is that you begin looking for those exact same mistakes from your opponent, and because you know how they're punishing you for it, you also know how to punish them in return. But Resistance 2040X isn't done teaching you yet. Once you learn how to win neutral, it's time to learn how to capitalize. You'll have noticed that unlike Nidhogg, where you die in one hit, you do have a life bar in Resistance 2040X. By default, you have 3 HP, and different attacks have different damage values. Once you land the confirm, it's very easy to convert it into a 3-hit combo and secure the kill. From there, it's just a matter of being able to convert anything into a kill combo. Once you've grasped the basics of confirming, 2040X goes the extra mile to reward you for mastery of its system. Despite needing only 3 hits to KO an opponent, the combo system is actually really flexible and allows for some creative and stylish combos. And 2040X incentivizes you to flex by awarding you with bonus health if you can keep a combo going after you've already dealt the KO, allowing you to recover from damage or begin the next engagement with 4 or more health. And while the extra health allows you to start the next fight with a significant advantage, make no mistake, an enemy can easily hit you with a 5-hit combo and stage a dramatic comeback. I think the only thing I would maybe critique is that the cross-up attack might be a little too fast. I found that it was near impossible to react to, but I guess it's also possible that it's intended to work as a 50-50 with a throw and I just keep guessing wrong. I also feel like there should be some ways to attack an opponent beneath you. In a flat 1v1, the moves feel perfectly balanced, but once platforms enter the mix, a player attacking from below is actually at a huge advantage, ironically making the high ground extremely vulnerable. I imagine things will get way different once more characters get added to mix up the formula, but I really enjoyed what I played so far. One thing that really came to me as I was playing was the distinct desire to continue playing. Even though I was only matched against a hard CPU, which did kick my ass a few times, I felt a natural inclination to continue. In my experience, competitive games that tap into that desire to keep playing game after game offer you the promise that you can do better in the next match. And the way Resistance 2040X shows me my mistakes in real time, I can hit that retry button knowing where I failed and where I can improve. Part of what makes fighting games so hard to stick with is that it can feel frustrating to not know what you need to do to get better, but Resistance 2040X gives you that knowledge without patronizing you. Teaching fighting games has been a challenge that has gone unanswered for decades, but I think Resistance 2040X offers an organic way of learning that I think other games could really pick up from. That's all for this Indie Fighter Spotlight. Let me know in the comments what you think about Resistance 2040X, or if there are other indie games you'd like me to spotlight on this channel. Or, hey, if you have a fighting game you're working on, why not send me a build and I'll give it a look. Don't forget to hit all the algorithm buttons. Give this video a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future content from Trigger Punch. This channel is supported on Patreon, so be sure to check it out for exclusive polls and access to future videos. I'm ABI, and I'll see you later.